Remember, I think it was over the summer, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, he wrote a self-congratulatory memoir. Apparently, that paid some significant cash, and it put some significant cash in his pocket. Apparently 7 figures. But now his publisher, Crown, is halting the promotion of the book amid the whole dust-up of his handling of the nursing home scandal. And his 6th harassment allegation has now been made against him. But before his book is taken to the presses, let's bring in our company to take a look at some of the passages that didn't age so well. Joining us now is the host of the Dana Loesch Show, Dana Loesch, and the host of America First on Salem Radio, Seb Gorka. Seb, welcome back. Dana, good to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Hey, Dana, before we get to Cuomo and all that's happening in his world, we were just talking with Congressman Richard Hudson about the Dems' sort of gun grab, the H.R. 8 bill and H.R. 1446. You've been well known for your support of the Second Amendment. Just give viewers a take on what's at stake in those bills.
Well, goodness, and I'm glad that y'all are talking about this. I know that Feinstein has said that she's going to push forward another assault weapons ban or confiscation of semi-automatic firearms. There are a number of issues that they're looking at, and I've said before that I really feel that the administration they don't have the momentum, and they don't have necessarily the political capital in Congress to be able to achieve something like this. So ultimately, you're going to see Biden go about this in a regulatory manner. And so the whole issue with the ghost gun bill and the universal background check, which is going to create a registry and expand a system that currently can't meet needs as is. And then, of course, you have the full-on ban of semi-automatic firearms, which is what an assault weapons ban would be. And I'll tell you what's at stake here. And for Biden to do this in a regulatory fashion, people need to remember that whenever you have, President of the United States that uses his pen and exerts that executive power, that's all well and good. But that's only so long as they're in office, because then the next person's going to come after them. And if they don't share their same ideology, they'll just use their pen to undo it as well. But there is a lot of stuff at stake, and it depends, I could talk about this forever to get to your question. It depends on where they think that they're going to be able to get the most political capital. And honestly, I really feel like it's the ghost gun issue that they're going to try to go after. And just a reminder for people, ghost gun, it's just a made up term, kind of like assault weapon is, to describe semi-automatic firearms, because all firearms, if you're a hobbyist, you can make firearms perfectly legal to do at home. If you sell them, you have to serialize them, meaning you have to stamp them with a actual serial number. People are not making these at home to go out and engage in crimes, and there isn't enough evidence to make a universal statement as such. So ultimately, I think that they're going to go after and criminalize hobbyists. That's what they're going to do.
Okay. Wow.
Well, thanks for your insight. We could do a whole segment on this.
Wow.
All right, bye, Seb. It was good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for the invite. I'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. Sounds good. No, I do want to get your guys' take on this. As Sean was mentioning in the beginning, Andrew Cuomo came out with this book at the beginning of the pandemic, or in the middle of the pandemic, called American Crisis: Leadership Lessons from COVID-19. A lot of it didn't age well, so we want to just pull up a few of the excerpts to show everyone. Number one is accountability matters. Indeed, it does. If you don't want to be accountable, you shouldn't be in government positions. All right, that's one. I'm frustrated by the incompetence of the government and distrustful of the motivations and ability of many politicians. I have learned something as I've gotten older. What is that, Andrew Cuomo? Ultimately, the truth wins out. I hope it will. And the last one here, it still amazes and heartens me that people just wanted the truth, competence and confidence from their leaders. It goes on. All right, Seb, I don't think these aged too well. I think his book might have been a little too early.
You mean Randy Andy is in trouble now for being a little bit too touchy-feely than any Democrat should? Believe the women, unless the politician is a Democrat. That's all you need to know. Whether it's Bill Clinton, whether it's Randy Andy, this is the moral turpitude of the left today. And by the way, let's just remind everybody, this is the man who was lauded, who was feted just a few months ago as the next possible Democrat nominee for president. But, we can laugh about his hypocrisy. But the real issue here is the 14,000 New Yorkers that he sent to his death. Yes, the 5 women should be listened to. Yes, it should all be investigated. 14,000? That makes 9/11 look like a small incident. People who died because Andrew Cuomo sent them to the old people's homes that could not care for them after they had contracted COVID. He should be facing a federal investigation for manslaughter times 14,000.
Yeah. And Dan, the crazy thing about all of this is he came out with this leadership book, and yet Biden called him the golden standard of governors. But he has mums with the word from Biden on this so far.
Yeah, the golden standard of governors. If we had a real press, a real legacy media, they would be asking Jen Psaki, do you honestly, does the president still believe that Andrew Cuomo is the gold standard of governors? I would love to hear the pushback or the spin on that. But he does. You know, it reminds me of when Trump was in office, and every single time a Republican governor so much as sneezed, if Ron DeSantis parted his hair on the other side of his head, then they had to bring that up and ask Trump about that in a press conference. They had to make Trump own every single thing that every other Republican did. And Sean, you remember that well, too. Well, now with Joe Biden, I mean, apparently they're just going to continue this just feeble, happy pawpaw, you know, this optic that he has, a guy who, you know, falls down and hurts himself playing naked tug of war after he gets out of the shower with his German Shepherd. He can't answer any of these questions like this. He can't be called to account for what Andrew Cuomo does, or for what Gavin Newsom does, or what Gretchen Whitmer does. I think it's about time that people start asking him this at these press conferences instead of throwing him softballs.
Well, he has to have a press
gonna have
conference
to have
first,
one.
Dana.
That's right.
So hopefully we'll see that in the not too distant future. Seb, yeah. Dana, we're out of time. Seb, you get to go first next time. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Well,
hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.